Guiding your next pop culture journey, this is In Quest of Geek.
The tavern is always the beginning of a quest. It's where the team can come together to focus on introduction, speculation, and adventure. It's your chance to learn about your favorite fandoms or discover something new. This is our Tavern Team.
With you in the tavern will be
Alix Catherine, your host and professional moderator.
Nathan, nerd analyst and examiner.
And Cole, your personal geek color commentator.
So pull up your personal character sheet and get ready to level up because we're here to build better character.
Welcome to the Tavern Team. Grab a chair and join the crew. Tonight's quest we have the Bad Batch.
Yes!
I feel like I should say that cooler. The Bad Batch.
You can do better than that. You can totally do better than that.
The Bad Batch?
That's what you thought was better? That was your, I'm gonna do better?
Well, okay, do yours.
The Bad Batch, baby! It was so much better!
Nathan?
The Bad Batch. Coming next to the theater next to you. Very close. I'm saying that all wrong. The Bad Batch.
Okay, so we are here to talk about the Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch. A group of mercenary clone troopers come together
To fight the evildoers and protect the universe.
and Omega for some weird reason. Spoilers in this episode.
Spoilers. Watch out for spoilers.
Coming to a theater near
Near
you.
you.
But
This is gonna be one of those episodes, people. Thank you for joining us in our descent into madness as we.
I'm so happy that we're doing this one because this came out on May 4th, and this was one of the May 4th to me was a weird roller coaster of emotions because personal stuff happened, but the day of Star Wars was amazing because we got to do oh my goodness, Bad Batch, and then we got to stream. If you don't follow our Twitch stream like Alix does Women Wednesdays, it's cool. But we all did May the 4th, and so I don't know about you guys, but I woke up at 6 a.m. to watch Bad Batch.
On May the 4th?
Mm-hmm.
No, I watched it on Saturday.
Yeah, I watched on May the 4th.
Okay. You gotta do it. It's May 4th. You gotta have your Star Wars Day stuff.
I watched it on May the 8th, so it was twice as good as May the 4th.
So fermenting like a fine wine, I see.
It's a math joke.
That's not how the 4th works. Jeez.
Yeah, double it and it's the 8th. That's exactly how math works.
Well, what we're going to be talking about does not double with the 8th. We're talking about Bad Batch was a continuation of the Clone Wars series. It picks up immediately after the Clone Wars ends. And May 4th of 2020 was the end of Clone Wars. So this year's Bad Batch is really nice because it continues that story of the series that we all, most of us love. So Nathan, this is becoming a thing of our show here, good sir.
Oh.
Hopefully you practiced.
The floor is mine. Thanks. I can't wait for Cole to giddily watch me fail. Cannot wait for that. I can see this. I can see it in his eyes. All right. So The Bad Batch is a spin-off from the Star Wars Clone Wars.
I said that!
Animated series. Let me have my intro to it so I can feel my momentum build. You've now destroyed my momentum. It's your fault. And now the audience knows it because I'm calling you out. I'm pointing at the camera so you know that my finger is just shaking at you. Here we go.
It looks like you're mad at Alix, but let's go.
No, never. Let's see. So, The Bad Batch is basically about the defective clone troopers in the original Republic Army who, or because of their defects that made them different and more powerful in some aspects, it also got rid of that pesky Order 66 little Manchurian Candidate activation code where they can just, they straight up just start taking out Jedi.
Call it pesky?
Yeah, it's pesky. It's pesky.
That pesky little order that just murders all the Jedi.
Yeah. You know how it is. Murder is just kind of annoying.
And And for everyone who's at home listening to Nathan say that and about to go, actually, yes, we are all aware of the one thing, but we're just gonna let Nathan keep going as we pretend like that one thing didn't happen.
What one thing?
One of the 99 actually fell victim to the.
Oh yeah.
Manchurian.
Sharpshooter, cross-haired eyed guy.
Crosshair. That's his.
Yeah. I knew I'd get
You
there.
were so
Cross-eyed
close.
guy.
If you didn't stop saying guy, you would have had it.
Well, that's why he's defective. He's cross-eyed. Like he's like looking both. They're like, which way are you aiming, man? He's like, huh. That's why the stormtroopers got their all their training for shooting from cross-eyed. And so let's see. So
Terrible.
in this Bad Batch, most of them can. I mean, in a way, Crosshair can defy the orders. If you'd noticed that, he wasn't. He should have just straight up started shooting. You see in the first episode that he didn't start shooting on sight. He actually listened to his commander. So, booyah. Anyways, it's revealed that the Bad Batch is a group of the clone troopers that don't have the Order 66 code that makes them into betraying murderers. Just your usual soldiers just trying to make it in the galaxy, and because of this they get marked for early retirement by old Tarkin and the new Galactic Empire, and they then escape, and they have a new little tag along person with them named Omega, who apparently is the only female clone, or am I reading that wrong? Of the entire thing.
You're reading as well as I am, so.
Yeah. And so the Bad Batch basically is just going to follow them as they try to survive in a darker galaxy far, far away.
Now, Alix, question for you, because you
Answer for you.
Thank you. Of the three of us, you were the least Star Wars knowledgeable.
Capable, yes.
No, I will say knowledgeable. You're definitely capable. You're Star Wars capable.
Definitely capable.
You
learn enough to just hurt Cole's feelings, so that's
Exactly. You know enough to make me cry inside.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about the episode? What did you think?
It was okay. I found it very confusing. Since this is an intro show, I will point out that this is not a show you can just jump into without Star Wars knowledge, and that inherently bothers me per usual, because it's being sold or advertised as this new show, but it's really super ingrained in Clone Wars and in episode 3, movie 3, which apparently is an episode. Yeah. But it's not, it's a movie.
You're doing it, Alix! Just come on!
So it's like without a lot of that Star Wars knowledge, a lot of what's happening just doesn't make any sense. And if I hadn't watched it with JPG, I would have been completely lost. Even with seeing the episodes that you gave me, Cole, there was still a lot that was missing from important information. And I've either not seen episode 3 or just don't remember episode 3. But either way, there was lacking a lot of information. So that kind of bothered me.
Yeah, I can see that.
What was? Do you have any examples of what was really confusing you? Just because anyone else is in the same boat as you?
This probably is gonna sound really dumb, but I didn't realize that the good guys became bad guys. So I started out in the first scene really confused on why the good guys look like stormtroopers. That just didn't make any sense to me. And I was like, how are you supposed to tell who's good and who's bad? And then Jason had to pause and was like, wait, are you serious right now? And I was like, yes. And he goes, okay, let me explain. And then I didn't understand that Palpatine, Emperor, President.
No, Emperor
not
Palpatine,
President.
yeah.
Emperor now, but he was something before. Michelin. What was it?
The Michelin Man.
Not the Michelin Man.
He's just selling tires and they make him like the Emperor.
He also rates restaurants.
Michelin stars.
Supreme Chancellor.
That's the one.
He has unlimited power.
Yeah, that
not
guy.
unlimited tires.
So I didn't realize he was good at some point. So that was really confusing.
He's pretending to be good.
Right, but I didn't know that. So then I'm like, wait, why are these good bad guys listening to this bad guy? And so that was, I mean, like Nathan gave everybody this really good explanation of what happened.
Oh, thank you.
on my end, like if I were giving the same explanation, it would legitimately be, well, the good guys who are all the same person become bad guys, but are still all the same person, and they're run by this good bad guy who becomes a bad guy, but then pretends to be a good guy, so that the good guys follow the bad guy who used to be the good bad guy, but is now just the bad guy.
And that's our clip, everybody. Just letting you know, that is the clip.
That's the one.
Right there. I'm writing it down in my notes.
Good dude, bad guy, bye. The good guy pretended to be a bad guy, but he's actually a bad guy from the beginning. So he's bad guy, goodbye, bad guy. And bad batch, good batch, 3 batch, 4. 1 batch,
I mean, legitimately, that's
more.
what happens, and it's so confusing if you don't know.
No, well, honestly, luckily, I am on your side now. Yeah.
Well, luckily for everyone who's listening to this show, that's why they have us. So
right. So if you guys could explain kind of what happens before, that's like important information for people who haven't seen, I think that would be really great.
Well,
Star Wars
JPG
1 through 3.
That actually sets my trap card. No, in all seriousness, though, the beginning of this episode is really important to talk about because it changes Star Wars media moving forward. So we start the show basically seeing Jedi, a Padawan, fighting along clone troopers who were genetically engineered for the Republic to fight against the Separatists, which are the droids that you see fighting in those prequel movies.
And the Republic is the good guys.
Yes.
And the Separatists are meant to be the bad guys.
Yes. In simple terms, yes. To quote...
And the Separatists are the little droids that go, fire!
Roger.
Hold your position. Roger.
Now,
right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, Clone Wars does a really good job of saying there's no good or bad side. So this, that's, if you watch this series, you're gonna find yourself questioning, wait, I thought they were bad, because they really make you think that. They also make you think clones are not just disposable individuals. They are, yes, they all look alike, but they're very unique individuals, which is something I want to talk about later on after Order 66, because Bad Batch did something that was amazing in that. But for everyone at home, just letting you guys know, the Jedi that you see is Caleb Dune. And Caleb Dune is from Rebels. He's voiced by Freddie Prinze Jr., and he actually has...
For anybody who doesn't know who Freddie Prinze Jr. is, it's the geek from Psych.
Of all the references, they're not gonna know him from one episode of Psych. I mean, if you do, congrats. We're gonna be best friends because I love Psych. But no,
the hot guy from She's All That.
The hot guy from She's if there was a romantic comedy involving teenagers in the 90s or early 2000s, it starred Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh wait, wasn't he the Scooby-Doo movie?
Yeah,
yes.
Fred.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, keep going. Sorry, I know you're doing important things and I'm derailing it.
I'm trying to be helpful. But anyway,
Don't you want to learn, Alex?
So you have a comic book about Kanan, and in that comic book done by Marvel, you have the backstory of Caleb Dune and seeing his clone troopers betray them. And what's interesting, I can't wait to hear Nathan's take on this, since he's an amazing comic writer. Well, we're gonna toot that horn of yours, good sir. They kind of retconned a Marvel comic. So a comic that's done in the current canon has been retconned for media. So Nathan, did you read the comic? How do you feel about seeing the two different scenes take place?
I actually did not read the comic, unfortunately. But from the world of just Marvel of comic books and retcon, that's just a day in the biz, man. Like day of the week. Like there's so many things that get retconned all the time. So like they'll just have a new comic probably with a new panel or a new page that just kind of explains what's going on. But in comics, things get retconned all the time. It's not a...
Well, a lot of people are having a lot of people are freaking out because it's the first time that we're seeing a comic panel come to life in a media when it was a comic first. Like, a lot of Star Wars was retconned, as we all know. The Great Purge of 2017? 15. Whenever Force Awakens happened, when they made all our books fan fiction, they call them legends now. Yeah, when that happened, a lot of stuff became they're bringing it back, but it's done differently. And the fact that they still kind of brought something from a comic book but did it differently, I think is okay. Because like you said, Nathan, it's comic books. Things get retconned all the time. And I feel like Star Wars is the only media where fans are like, no, you can't change it. Marvel changes things. DC changes things. Like, Alex, what about you? You on the same page on that?
I mean, I don't read the comics, so I guess that part doesn't bother me as much. And I've always separated them. And I talk about this a little bit in Dungeon too, so I apologize if people get a little bit of both. But I think there's an issue between saying something's canon and then not canon, and then canon and then not canon. Like, that's... And we saw Marvel make this mistake with Shields. Agents of Shield.
Yes.
Not Shields. Agents of Shield. Where it was like, oh, this is canon. Oh, no, we messed up. Never mind, not canon, not canon. Like, if you're going to commit to it, and then follow through. If you're going to change it, that's fine. But I think it's hard for people to complete a story or connect with it, if that makes sense.
No, it
because
totally
you're already
makes sense.
attached.
I mean, for me personally, I think expecting fans, the average fan, not the diehards, not the ones who are going to be absorbing everything, but the average fan, to keep up with the story, well, you tell them, well, if you want to know, you got to read the books, you got to buy the comic books, you got to watch the movies, you got to watch the cartoon series, you got to watch the spin-offs.
That's
too
much.
Too much. So if you just say everything you watch visually is canon, and then comics, like Nathan hit on the head, things get retconned all the time. It's impossible to keep up. Like with Green Lantern, like all the Marvel DC characters that I love, a lot of storylines that I know aren't canon anymore because of retconning or New 52 or whatever world event that changes everything. So like that doesn't bother me. But
I mean, they even have they have graphic novels, but they also have YA novels.
Yeah.
Young adult, right?
Yeah. Like there's so much. So I don't have a problem if you change things for media, for visual, especially since that's what people consume the most.
Right.
But anyway, we're getting off track. We haven't even talked about the Bad Batch yet. So Nathan, do you want to go off the Bad Batch? Just like introduce those 4 members or 5?
Okay, so the Bad Batch. Remember, these are clones. These are all clones of the one dude, Jango Fett, father of Boba Fett, and so that they had that kind of warrior genes in them. It's pretty much why they were selected for becoming an army. And so we have our main leader is a hunter, and he's a defective clone because they were basically the
we're gonna say enhanced.
Kaminoans. I'm sorry.
Let's say enhanced, not defective. They're enhanced.
Yeah, but the Bad Batch, and the spirit of it is they're defective in this cool way.
Yeah.
So let's see. So you have Hunter, and he has enhanced sensory abilities. The Kaminoans, the alien species that are pretty much the big clone makers of this entire universe galaxy. What are you gonna do? You're gonna be bored of the same thing, like making cookie cutter soldiers. So you mess with them, and so they made Hunter, and he's the leader, kind of just naturally the leader. Which kind of goes for all the clones. Are all kind of natural leaders they want to be. Mm-hmm. There's also Crosshair. They messed with his eyesight and gave him better marksmanship. There's Wrecker, who's just the big tank. He's big, not like a literal tank. I should clarify that, but nomenclature of he's a big burly powerful dude. And then there's Tech, who has just enhanced his brain so that he can understand technical things much far better. And there's Echo, who was actually an actual regular clone that through mishap and war was messed with, and a lot of parts of him were replaced. Kind of think of it like Darth Vader. Got a lot of cyborg parts. And
more machine now than man.
I love that
machine than man.
You compared him to Darth Vader and not just a cyborg.
Well, because that's the close. They use the same speech.
Yeah, more machine than man. That's why his code Order 66 didn't kick in for him. And then for the kid that joins him, that's I guess in a way kind of like for the audience, maybe kind of the audience viewpoint. is Omega, and she's like the only female clone, and I'm not sure what makes her defective or in their eyes
mystery.
enhanced. Yeah, so that's part of the mystery as we find out.
Well, and she's a she.
Yeah,
yes,
that's the big difference too. We're just going, but you wonder why the Kaminoans even made her.
Well, so I have a theory about that, but we should probably wait and describe the characters more before we start going into theories.
Right, sorry. Yes, where are we?
All right. So from the Bad Batch, these clones do not look like regular clones. Their armor is black and red instead of the white and whatever color to show the regiment. They have a skull on there. So they're, as visually speaking, they tried their best for you, the audience, to know this clone unit is way different than any other clone unit you find. And for me, at home watching it, it was like watching an RPG in Star Wars. It felt like someone playing Dungeons and Dragons or Masks. We'll plug Masks in. And like you get to hang out with Star Wars characters, but like you have the basically the brainy one, you have the big I want to blow stuff up person, you have the I'm just gonna start fights and shoot things, and then you have like the leader who's like I'm going to solve things weirdly, but I'm gonna get the story going. Like, did you guys get that same feel?
Yeah, very Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where you have your basic archetypes of characters that you would have in this kind of.
Yeah, Spice Girls, exactly.
Okay, no. We're gonna follow that. We're gonna follow that thread, Alix.
Right.
Yeah.
For each Bad Batch character, give me their corresponding Spice Girl.
Well, it's not. I mean, I could do that.
Now it's not exact science suddenly.
Okay, well, Ginger Spice would obviously be Hunter.
Why? Why is that obvious? That's not obvious.
Why is she the leader?
A leader.
I don't know. Okay,
who's the one who hits everything?
Wrecker.
Wrecker, Sporty Spice.
Okay. I can see that.
Okay.
What were the other powers?
So Crosshair
really
is
brainy
the
one?
angry.
Oh, Crosshair would be Scary Spice.
Oh, okay. That's I could have guessed that.
Yeah.
All right. Did you
I have Baby and Posh left. What do you got for me?
So Baby
we got the
and
brainy
Posh,
one, and we got
more machine now than man one.
More Machine is going to be Posh because it's all about the looks.
Wow.
And then the smart one. Oh wait, the smart one is Baby. Really, Omega is Baby. So.
What about Ginger?
No, Ginger
was Hunter.
Oh, okay.
So Tech is like the agent.
There you go. The manager.
The manager.
What about Omega?
No.
That's Baby.
That's Baby Spice. Yeah. No, I mean, truthfully, though, the reason I make that reference is actually because when you look at the Spice Girls, they pretty much said, you're sporty. All you can be is sporty. That's it. You can't have any other personality, any other type. You are to be athletic, at all times sporty. Okay, bye. You're posh. You can only wear tiny dresses and be posh and fancy. And they didn't give them an opportunity to have any other personalities, right? And this kind of almost feels like that. Like, you wreck things. That's all you know. Well, you're not allowed to have another personality.
They addressed that. Tech actually says you don't think you were engineered. And Wrecker's like, I wasn't designed this way. I want to do this because I want to. Which transitions beautifully into the cafeteria scene when you see them on Kamino. And not Kamino. Yeah, Kamino.
Yes, Kamino.
And if I know, Alix, you didn't watch too much of Clone Wars, but the Clone Wars series works really hard for you to understand that these clones aren't throwaway disposable stuff. They all have unique personalities. And the way they do that is they change their hair. They change, they'll have tattoos on their face. They'll change their appearance to be more of who they are.
Yeah, it creates like a subculture of just how do you, if you all look exactly the same, even the same voice, how do you make yourself different in any way? And you only have numbers and we even get names. It's really dystopian.
And they basically named themselves. They go, this is what I go by. What they do after Order 66, which is also really evil for the Empire. So this just goes with like this is dark. The cafeteria scene, the clone troopers looked exactly alike. They all acted the same way. There was no personality. Their humanity has basically been deleted with Order 66. And I thought was...
I have a weird question, but did they have humanity before?
Yes, they all had personalities. They had loves. They had passions. Some of them were soldiers. Some of them were like, I don't want to fight. Some of them wanted to be a leader. They all had different drives. They had different not drives,
personalities.
Thank you.
And yeah.
Okay, so and see, that's another thing that without going back, is because I didn't know that, I wouldn't got that. So that's nice missing information there.
Yeah, it's another, like you said, Alex. This is not exactly the greatest.
No.
Welcome to a new show.
Can't jump in.
This is basically season 9 of 8. Season 8 of Clone Wars.
Yeah, it's a spinoff. You know?
Yeah.
And you don't know the source material, then the spinoff kind of is a little more confusing.
But it was so weird. Like, Nathan, were you not as, like, when you saw that cafeteria scene and they all acted the same way, did your brain go, oh, that's how they all turn, like, the clones just disappear?
I mean, yeah, I'm watching that. We're seeing the entire plan of Emperor Palpatine in full effect. He's like, I don't want individuals, saying no to me. That's why I want to figure out. He wanted to basically have dissect all the things that are useful out of these disposable soldiers, and then turn them into his usual army of stormtroopers with no face, and no morals, no questions asked.
Yeah, just do it. Alex, did you recognize Tarkin by any chance? The guy who came to inspect the clone troopers.
No.
So Tarkin is a callback from he was brought in throughout the series of Clone Wars, and he's brought in Rebels because he is he's the main honcho, the main admiral.
Grand Moff,
thank you. In episode 4, and in Rogue,
the very first Star Wars movie that
One.
came out. No.
So that's why
I knew they did a good job of like be afraid of this guy, and yes, there's some history because he doesn't like me from whatever. So I actually felt like with his character, I'm sure there's more to it that like I didn't get. But at least with that, I was like, okay, this is clearly somebody who we've either seen before or we haven't seen before, but they just fed you enough information that you're good.
More information for you, Alex, that they didn't give. And for everyone at home, this is going to be really helpful for you. Nathan, please help me with descriptions and stuff. But the droid that you see with Omega is a callback. He helps Fives, a clone trooper who accidentally discovers about Order 66 before it's supposed to happen. And that droid gets the chip out of his head. So, when they destroyed that droid in this episode, it's basically sealing Crosshair's fate of not being fixed. And head nods, yeah.
Head nods.
Like, Nathan, did you catch that, or did you forget about that droid?
I forgot about that droid. I was just wondering if he was the same droid that told Obi-Wan that Padme died from a broken heart, and I was like,
oh no, two different
same type
droids.
at least. Same type at least.
It's a medical droid, yeah. But this droid, he was a huge, like, there was that whole arc. He was like this great support character who helped Fives, and we all fell in love with him in a couple episodes. So when he gets shot point blank, it was like, oh. So like when they pan off and you see his eyes fade, like for me who like just remembered that character, it was like seeing a popular character get killed off. It was like Grey's Anatomy, the shooting episode, where you're like, oh my god, they just killed him.
Is this the one Omega's friend?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a nice droid. Like, oh.
Yeah, but that felt like such a throwaway because they didn't they didn't show us her sad. They didn't show like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I wanted to feel more,
but
the characters never gave me the chance, or the story never gave me the chance.
problem is like going back to it. This is not a great intro show because
Yeah.
we did get the backstory. It was just in seasons 6, season 6 of Clone Wars.
Paul, I expect you to have memorized all of the seasons of Clone Wars, get it exactly right, know every episode title, or we're gonna get
code.
an actually email.
She knows.
But yeah, so like that's where it was super sad seeing that because I like Crosshair and him being completely turned to the dark side was sad, and I was hoping we would get them back, but because they killed that droid, unless Ahsoka shows up. Even if Rex shows up, which he showed in like commercials and stuff, he doesn't know how the chip got out. He just knows there's a chip to get out. So unless they really spend time trying to bring Crosshair back, I think it's just he's now gone, he's evil, and they're gonna have to kill him
forever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Rex will have a solution by just punching him until he's good again.
I mean, the thing is, Omega's a genius, so maybe between her and Tech.
Bit.
I don't think Omega's a genius. I'm gonna go down this path. I think Omega is the very first clone attempt with bringing in metachlorians.
Because you think bringing in Jedi clones?
Yeah, because remember the Emperor. Throughout this, the reason why the clones were a big thing for the Emperor is he wanted to learn how to bring his spirit, his Force spirit, and put it into another body, and constantly just keep doing that. That's actually still canon. And in what we saw in the sequel trilogy, he clones Snoke. He clones himself. Like, this is a thing that the Emperor does. Grogu they want, the Baby Yoda they want because of, we're assuming for that program. I think Omega is the first test. That's why she's also a girl. It's the first.
Wait, is this happening at the same time as The Mandalorian?
No. So this is happening.
Oh yeah, timeline is
48. This is happening 48 years before The Mandalorian starts.
Oh, okay. Right. That makes total sense, of course.
Yeah, Grogu's probably only 2 years old.
What?
Grogu's probably only 2 years old instead of, because he's 50 by the time we see him.
Yeah, so when Order 66 happens, Luke Skywalker is born. And Luke is 18 at A New Hope. And from Return of the Jedi... No, this is even longer than 48, because it's 30 years after Return of the Jedi. No! Goodness great. You know what?
Somebody get a calendar.
Math. Yeah, it's 18 years from Order 66 to A New Hope, and then from whatever A New Hope to Return of the Jedi, that's when Mandalorian happens. Because Mandalorian happens right after Return of the Jedi. So there, boom. I don't know the exact math. I'm sorry.
Now, you think Crosshair is lost and gone forever.
Yeah.
Then what do you think the focus of this series, I don't know how many episodes, shows, seasons it's going to be, but what do you guys think is going to come from this? Like, where are we going?
But I think we'll be seeing a lot of their, how they affect, like, the growth of the rebellion. And how they like might even be like a poster child of like, see, even the troopers are fighting against the Empire. You should see, so fight against the Empire. Kind of see him kind of doing that, and then will be a whole kind of like a subplot. Will be seeing what Omega's whole deal is, and if they can get Crosshair back, like maybe as he hunts him, he's clearly going to be sent after him. So you can see, like, maybe some way they're gonna keep going. Like, you don't have to do like the whole story. Yeah. Like, you can step away from the dark side. You can join your friends again.
That's what I picture. Like Crosshair constantly showing up. And I think it's going to be the moment where they have to actually take him down or out. I don't think they're gonna rescue him either because Star Wars. But maybe because it's a kid show, they might.
They might.
But
Clone Wars is not known to hold back on killing popular characters. I think this show's going to be darker than what you guys think. I think this is going to be showing the building of the Empire and why it's evil, and showing us all of the reasons why the rebellion was needed. Because Rebels was all about building up the rebellion.
Okay.
So I think we're going to see, through the eyes of Bad Batch, Darth Vader becoming the scary presence that he is. Because before Order 66, no one knew who Darth Vader was. So from Order 66 to Rogue One, Darth Vader became the most feared being in the galaxy, besides, of course, the Emperor. So how did he do that? So I think we're going to see that. We're going to see Boba Fett, I think. I think we're going to be able to see him actually earning his namesake. Because Boba Fett is alive. Boba Fett
he dies in episode 4, movie 1.
Episode 5?
5?
No, 6.
Movie 2?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're messing with my head when you keep saying movie 2. He dies in Return of the Jedi, but he doesn't really die because he comes back in Mandalorian, as we see.
Right, but that was movie number...
Not movie. Series.
Mandalorian was the series.
No, but he dies in...
In Return of the Jedi, he doesn't die.
Which is movie 3, episode 6?
Movie 3...
6.
Movie 3, like release date.
That is the hardest way of describing that.
Wow, you made this really hard. Hard.
But I really think
because I would normally say episode 3, and then you would yell at me, and that would confuse people more. So I thought this way is like a clearer, like it's episode 6, but it was movie 3, and then they retconned it, that's a word, and made it the 6th. And everyone was just okay with that.
You thought this helps.
So
you guys, I really dislike Star Wars.
Hey, be careful.
So
That's
here's
the dark
the thing.
side talking.
That is the dark side talking.
Hey, all you had to do was grow up with it as a kid and just constantly watch it religiously for your entire life. I don't understand what the problem is.
I'm just going to
do that in the weekend.
Myself. Yeah, retcon my life and I'll be fine.
You're a Star Wars fan. Easy peasy. All that pesky chronology you have to try and hold on to.
I mean, I will say I really enjoyed the characters. Right? I did like the Bad Batch themselves. I find them very interesting. But there's so much surrounding them that's so much that I feel like I don't get the opportunity to enjoy them without having to dedicate my entire life. And I just...
But Alex...
I'm going to dedicate that to 20 animes that equal the one series that you're offering.
This show had something that I thought you would really appreciate. It did not have a Skywalker.
It did not have a Skywalker or a Solo. Yet.
I don't think we'll ever... it depends on how you view Darth Vader. But I do not believe a Skywalker will appear in this show.
Yeah, I've heard this before. No. That was The Mandalorian, right? It was so beautiful. And it was so not scarred or damaged or touched. And then... here they are, season 2, and they're like, nah, sorry, Anthony, you. We don't know what else to do. We'll throw him in there. And oh my gosh, everybody will freak out because we weren't creative enough to come up with anybody else. Reward us.
Sorry, Anthony. I just want you to know there was a sorry in that rant. Like,
I said sorry, Anthony.
I know, but it was so beautifully mixed in. I was like, I just want to make sure he's aware. Look. Luke Skywalker showing up at the end of Mandalorian was beautiful, and it made sense. I was here for it because I want to see the search for Ezra, who I am still convinced is now on the dark side. Now, anyway, Bad Batch.
Yes.
I enjoy...
And Darth Vader counts because he's Anakin Skywalker.
Who he said he destroyed. He doesn't turn into Anakin again until episode 6. Darth Vader and Anakin, even though they're the same person, in this context, if we did a bet, in this context, is not the person. It's not like, it's Skywalker. It's more
it's
like
not a phase, Alex.
Vader.
All right, this is Goth. He's not a phase. He's living that Sith life now.
Anakin Skywalker.
Darth Vader. I'll help you out. Darth Vader.
Darth Vader.
Darth Sky Vader.
Darth Vader Skywalker. He hyphenated his name.
He's very progressive for a murdering psychopath.
Sorry, I'll stop yelling so you can continue with your probably much more important, way more relevant.
If we don't see Darth Vader, they did something wrong. Because if you're showing the building of the Empire and we do not see Darth Vader...
Yeah, but we get Darth Vader for the first time in Rogue One.
who's already established at that point for the Empire.
Right, but don't we have a long time between this? See, this is why Star Wars is so confusing. Don't we have a long time between this and Rogue One?
18 years.
Yeah.
And how old is Anakin in movie 3, episode 3,
Revenge of
movie
the
6?
Sith. Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, he's by that point he's probably in his late 20s, early 30s, maybe.
And is he already bad?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, by the end of it, he's Darth Vader, like full out Darth Vader.
Okay.
And so the whole time from that, and that the same time at the end of he becomes Darth Vader is almost like maybe a week before Bad Batch starts.
So I think that counts as being a Skywalker, but you know.
No.
I just want to see them bring in Darth Vader and everyone's first appearance of who the F is. Oh my god, what the hell? Like, I just want to see that so bad.
But I feel like I would rather see him be like somebody's sidekick who is still like learning and doesn't have all the awesome powers.
Okay, so force choke anyone that talks back to you.
He already does that, though. And what we've seen from Anakin is he already has the powers. So there would be no reason for Darth Vader to be learning the trade. But we can get that with Boba Fett, because Boba Fett is still only a teenager. So if you want to see I want to see them as a sidekick growing, that would be Boba Fett. And since they didn't finish his story in Clone Wars like they wanted to, this would be a perfect opportunity for Bad Batch to bring in Boba Fett.
Yeah, we can explore like how Boba Fett is affected by an entire army. It looks like his father. It looks like him.
And he went evil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because his dad wasn't evil. His dad was just a simple man trying to make his way through the universe.
Wait, Boba Fett didn't go evil. He went gray.
Exactly. Boba Fett followed the money, but he became one of the most feared bounty hunters in the galaxy. How? How did he become one of the most feared? No. Just because you think he looks goofy in episode 5 and 6 does not change the lore. Because in Mandalorian,
because none of the lore is canon. None of the lore is canon. All the lore, they were like, we're gonna toss all this out. And the fans kept this attachment and these made-up stories, but none of them counted. So they weren't real. So none of it's real, Cole.
Mandalorian season 2, Boba Fett monster. He is murdering stormtroopers I'm using monster to replace all the curse words that I wanted to use to describe him positively. Like, are you kidding me right now? He slaps someone so hard with his staff. So replace words here, people, with his staff, and it's literally shoots them.
Wait.
What word are you replacing? He used the staff. Yes, you're right. Yeah. Factually, you're right. But now I'm wondering, you think he was using a different weapon?
Okay, here's the thing with that
He's
shot.
He's swinging around, arms up.
He has the high ground. He can easily use something else. And he has the strength. He has the power.
I have no words for this. I think you're trying to say that he has BDE.
He does in that scene, for sure.
Okay.
I do not know what buddy stands for.
Buddy, okay.
Well, I mean, it is your buddy, but...
I 100% have no idea what this means.
I'm sorry, Anthony? Like, I'm not sure.
I don't...
Like, am I apologizing in the right point here?
I don't know what B period, D period, E period stands for.
He pleads the fifth.
We'll just move on from that and let you check Facebook Messenger yourself, Cole.
Well, we can look into this.
Oh, I got the message. Yeah. Would never have guessed that. Never. Ever would I have guessed that's the meaning of BDE. It makes sense, but never would I have guessed that.
But yes, they give Boba Fett that because they're trying to, again, make the fans happy. They're retconning. So you didn't care that they retconned that.
Retconning when they make it canon again. He was always awesome. It's just in episode 5, all he has to do is just push Han Solo up. And then in episode 6, George Lucas does not know how to direct choreography. So we have like the goofy as he flies into the Sarlacc pit.
Boba Fett, where?
Boba Fett, what?
Where?
Hits him with a stick. Now, Mandalorian Dave Filoni and not Nathan Fillion, Dave Filoni and
Jon Favreau
at least made that jetpack show like, oh, it's always had that problem. See, it's not the person, it's the equipment. But
retcon. That's retcon. It's just a better retcon than saying, you know what, we're just gonna toss this comic book we made 2 years ago out the window because we came up with something better.
Wait, Alex, I'm totally okay with that. I'm saying there's people who are clinging to that.
Right.
Going back to the beginning of this episode.
Like clinging to legacy comics or legacy stories that don't exist to make a character good. That's what I'm saying.
40 minutes ago! Where was this 40 minutes ago? This was great! You're showing up at the wrong time! Is there lag? Is there like a circle happening right now? Where was this?
Well, I was trying to let us be all focused on Bad Batchy, but now we're like 48 minutes in.
Way off on Boba Fett.
We've gone off the rails.
He ain't shown up. I mean, technically.
Hold on. Let me go back in the script here. Alex, how did you feel about the clones in the mess hall?
I think that's the last thing we said about this show.
They seem cool.
Like, the show, like, honestly, there's not much. For the first episode, it's an hour long. This show is not the greatest introduction, as Alex said off the bat. So, with that being said, all we can do for us talking to you guys at home is try to give you all the information to help you appreciate or understand the episode better. Because even though it's really hard saying this, if you don't watch all of Clone Wars before you watch this, you're going to be confused. Now, you can just watch the first 4 episodes. I thought it was only 3, but it's first 4 episodes of the final season of Clone Wars to at least get an introduction to the characters of the Bad Batch. But you won't know
can reach out to Cole or Nathan or JPG on Discord if you have questions about information you needed and didn't get because you didn't watch Clone Wars or Rebels, and they would be happy to share it with you guys on Discord.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Did you see that smooth plug, you guys? I was like, plug.
That was crazy. Also, good. Like, was a period to my thought process. So.
I stopped your thought process?
Well, because you threw in like a beautiful like we're done. And I was like,
oh no, you could continue. I just wanted to let people know there were other ways to interact with you.
There's many ways. But now I don't want to like overwhelm you with information because you know like there's so much. This podcast was just like Cole's like going nuts about Star Wars. Nathan, tag.
Oh yeah, so where did we leave you off, audience, on what is going on in this thing?
We made it to the lunch.
Made it to the lunch. I don't know if we're doing blow for blow for the whole episode.
No,
but,
I will say this, I guess, for whatever this is worth. But I think they did a really good job of at some point kind of like, look, we're good guys, but we want to make sure that the audience gets that we're really bad guys. Like, I thought they kind of did a great job of that for kids. It was the good guys part that was confusing. But the we're definitely bad guys part, I thought they did a good job of, like, making sure they got that.
I'm really confused with your definition of good guys and bad guys. Are you talking about the clone troopers turning evil?
For which part? For them being bad guys or for them being good guys?
I had a hard time following you. I don't know.
I was just saying, like, they did a good job of making sure the audience got that the Bad Batch was on the right side of things and that they weren't.
Yeah.
That they were making the right decisions and that the people around them who were claiming to be good weren't.
Yeah, well, they used a lot of good moments for... when they did find that one rebel cell, basically, rebel group that was meeting up, they did shows, like, there's a lot of moral quandaries here. It's like, start shooting, just kill these people? That's not what we do.
They're
right?
innocent civilians. We don't kill innocent civilians.
We don't do that. And yeah, no, I'm just saying that they were using a lot of moral quandaries and stuff to really, like, if you're asking a question, then you're usually a good guy. And because if you're just following orders, you're like, watch out.
Yeah, that I forgot. I can't believe I forgot to mention that for everyone at home. Crosshair keeps saying, "Good soldiers follow orders."
Yeah.
That's not a tagline that he says. That's not something that he believes. That's why everyone in the Bad Batch was confused. What you see in the earlier episodes from the Fives discovering it is the key thing that gets the clone, like their brainwashing Manchurian candidate moment, is good soldiers follow orders. And that's when their personality gets taken away and they now become a puppet for the Emperor. So that's how you know they're under the mindset of Order 66 when you hear good soldiers follow orders.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was one of the ones JPG had explained to me also.
Yeah, when I heard Crosshair say that, I went, no!
Oh no, full evil. Ah, crap.
Because he was like fighting it, so I was like, okay. Because he already was dark, but he was fighting it. And then when they enhanced it and he was just straight up Empire, I went,
Yeah.
So-
something.
Before we wrap this up, since we already know that you guys liked it and I thought it was all right, what is something you want to see? Not you think will happen, but like in your fantasy of what this show would have, what is the one thing you want to see?
Luke
Before we
Skywalker
end
shows
it.
up.
I
He
hate
just
you.
goes
You're
like,
off the
"Suck
show.
it, Alex." He just shows up. He just uses lightsaber to spell out like, "Too
Suck
bad,
it, Alex."
so sad. Suck it, Alex." On some more
So
Boba Fett
Nathan's-
with his BFE
BDE.
Boba Fett energy.
Oh, I see.
BFE. There you go.
I like it.
So honestly, I'm hoping they start really developing Omega, like just character wise, because right now she's just a precocious kid that shows up and it's like, all right, I'm not seeing the value, and like she shouldn't have to bring value to it more than they always want to protect her, but like I'm trying to see that character development. I need that because I'm right now Omega is just there and kind of just forces herself onto the team a little bit. You're just kind of like, what are you doing here? And it's like I'm not seeing her interaction making much sense yet.
Yeah,
Other than
Omega's very
telling us,
much.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm just agreeing with you. Like Omega is very much Ahsoka season 1 Clone Wars vibes, where it's like, why are you here?
What are you doing? It's like I was always thinking
Yeah.
maybe she'd be the medic or something because they do need a medic for that team. You know, it's like, well, see where your training goes. Okay, like, yeah, I'd just like to see more of the behind the scenes, how the Bad Batch was part of the growth of the rebellion, and if they, you know, whatever kind of stuff they might, or see all the atrocities they see happen, and then make the Empire so evil. Like, what are these? You know, I'd like to see some more of that.
For me, what I'm looking forward to seeing is I want to see Captain Rex, find Commander Cody, who is under the Order 66 mindset. I want to see that interaction. I want to see that continue because like when Wolf went under, not Wolf, I'm sorry, the Ahsoka episode where a very famous trooper whose name is eluding me right now turned evil. It was heartbreaking. I want to see Cody on that mindset. And I want to see Darth Vader just reigning terror for the Empire. Like I desperately want to see that.
So I guess we'll check back in, even if we don't do a full episode on Bad Batch. When we get to the finale, before we do whatever episode we're doing that week, I want to see if what you guys hope for actually appears. So somewhere in your notepads, keep track. Guiding your next pop culture journey, this has been an episode of In Quest of Geeks Tavern Team Edition.
Please check out our weekly Dungeon Dive and Tavern Team episodes on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, any other podcatchers. And make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe.
If you'd like even more adventures with us, our bi-weekly actual play RPG is in the same feed under Issues, where you can listen to us play as teen superheroes using the Masks A New Generation system.
Please follow us on social media at In Quest of Geek, and don't forget to subscribe to our weekly Twitch streams at twitch.tv/In Quest of Geek.
As we bring this adventure to a close, here's what you can expect from our next episode.
Justice Society World War II. That's happening I'm pretty sure JPG saw this release and foamed at the mouth and then put it on our schedule regardless of when this was going to happen. Because that's almost everything JPG loves. I'm excited to see this. I don't know about you guys. I love World War II. So I'm just ready to see what... I don't know much about the story outside of the title.
Same, but I at least like DC's animated films.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for good DC.
I hate you.
Thank you for listening, Brave Questers, and remember, use what you've learned today to build better character.